What's up everyone, this is SliferKing here, and today join me for my Red Dragon Archfiend / Resonator deck profile. So I recently opened the Crimson King structure deck, which gave us some new support for Red Dragon Archfiend and Resonator. And this is going to be my deck profile of what I think is well, I'm not sure if it's the strongest build in the world, but it's the one which I find to be the most fun. So let's dive right into it. So let's start off with the monsters. So first off, I'm going to be running 3 copies of Soul Resonator. This is one of the new Resonators that was introduced in the structure deck. Basically, if this is normal special summon, you can add a level 4 or lower Fiend monster from your deck to your hand, except for Soul Resonator. Also, you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except Dark Synchro monsters, which is handy because pretty much all of them are. Also, if this card would be... So, if a card you control would be destroyed by a card effect while you control a Red Dragon Archfiend or a Synchro monster that mentions it, you can banish this card from the graveyard instead. So, it's a searcher and it adds some protection to your Red Dragon Archfiend. Next up, we have 3 copies of Vision Resonator. So, this is the other new Resonator that was introduced. So with this one, if a level 5 or higher dark monster is on your side of the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Vision Resonator once per turn this way. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 spell/trap that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from your deck to your hand. And that's quite handy because there is quite a few now which mentions Red Dragon Archfiend. Another one of the new cards which is introduced in the structure deck is 3 of Bone Archfiend. So Bone Archfiend is a handy way to go into your synchros, because with this, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can send 1 other card from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except Dark Synchro monsters. You can target 1 face-up monster you control that has a level, send 1 Fiend Tuner from your hand or deck to the graveyard. If you do, increase or decrease that monster's level by 1. So this is a handy way to go into one of the synchros, which we'll get to later. When it comes down to it, probably my favourite Resonator to send to the graveyard is Crimson Resonator. So with this one, if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. If the only other monster you control is exactly 1 Dark Dragon Synchro monster, you can special summon up to 2 Resonator monsters from your hand or deck, except Crimson Resonator. So yes, with this card, it's good to go into your high level combos. So I'll go into one combo which is a fairly popular one with Resonator players a little bit later. Another 2 I'm running is 2 of Red Resonator. This one doesn't get used as much, but I just like it as a different option. So when this is normal summon, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand. So that's another way to get at some more monsters for level 6 synchros, specifically maybe Bone Archfiend. When this card is special summoned, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field, gain life points equal to its attack. So this is definitely handy late game if you've got low life points, because if you've got... I believe it is... What's the one that gains... Yeah, I believe Red Nova Dragon. I think it's Red Nova. Yeah, it's either Red Nova or Red Supernova. Sometimes their life points... Sometimes the attack points can go up to 6,000. If you were to use a Red Resonator, your life points would increase by 6,000, which, yeah, would make it a bit difficult for your opponent, I think. So another one of the Resonators is Synchron Resonator. So this one, if a Synchro monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon 1 Synchron Resonator once per turn this way. If a card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 Resonator monster in your graveyard, except Synchron Resonator, add it to your hand. So it's a little bit of a graveyard searcher as well. And to round out the Resonators, I'm also running 1 of Chain Resonator. This one is a one-off for me, because when this is normal... So when this card is normal summoned while Synchro Monster is on the field, you can special summon 1 Resonator monster from your deck, except Chain Resonator. So it's just another way to get some more Resonators on the field if needed. So then we go through some of the other cards, some of the other monsters. So first off we have Red Sprinter. So with this one, I'm running I'm running 2 of Red Sprinter. So when this is normal special summon, while you control no other monsters, you can special summon 1 level 3 or lower Fiend type tuner from the hand or graveyard. So it's just another way to get Resonates. Another card I'm running is Red Familiar. The reason I'm running one of these is because it can actually be an interesting tech card late game. So this one, you can tribute 1 Fiend monster, then target 1 Dark Dragon Synchro monster on the graveyard, special summon in defense position, but negate its effects. So that could maybe help out with some more high level synchros. However, the reason I prefer having this card in the deck is because you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Dark Dragon Synchro monster you control and declare a level from 1 to 8. That monster becomes that level until the end of this turn. So you can use that with the level 6 Red Dragon Archfiend Synchro monster, turn it to level 8, and then you can go for some higher combos like Bane. And then to round up the monsters, I'm running 2 of Red Warg, just another monster to get quickly on the field if you have Resonators. And finally, to finish off the monsters, I'm running 3 of Wandering King Wildwind. So with this one, if you control Fiend type tuner with 1500 or less, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you attempt this, you cannot special summon monsters from the deck for the rest of the turn except Synchro monsters. During the main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from the graveyard, add 1 Fiend type tuner with 1500 or less attack from the deck to your hand. So it's another pretty good way to get out some synchros. So that is the monsters. There is quite a few, admittedly. Now we get to the spells. So for the spells, I'm running 3 copies of Absolute Power Force. So this is one of the cards that was introduced to help with Red Dragon Archfiend. So target 1 Red Dragon Archfiend you control. If that monster you control battles an opponent's monster this turn, apply these effects until the end of the damage step. It gains 1000. Your opponent cannot activate a card or effects. If it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage to your opponent, and any battle damage your opponent takes from the battle is doubled. So yes, that's quite handy when it comes to Red Dragon Archfiend. And the other new card is Crimson Gaia. So with Crimson Gaia, during your main phase, you can add 1 Red Dragon Archfiend or 1 card that mentions it from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except Crimson Gaia. When your Red Dragon Archfiend declares an attack, you can change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. If a monster on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 Red Dragon Archfiend from your graveyard. So these 2 cards, if you can have both on the field, are a pretty good combo, because Crimson Gaia will switch your opponent's monsters to defense position, and then Absolute Power Force will deal more damage. And then the other spell I'm running is 3 of Resonator Call. This deck doesn't really have that many spells, admittedly. So it's quite simple. Add 1 Resonator monster from your deck to your hand. So this deck definitely has a lot of potential to get Resonators into your hand or on the field. And then for the traps, I'm running 1 of Fiendish Golem. This was the new one of the new traps that was introduced. So you can target a monster with 2000 or more attack, banish it until the end of the next turn. And if you activate this card while you control Red Dragon Archfiend or a synchro monster that mentions it, you can set 1 Fiendish Chain directly from your deck to your hand. So obviously I've got 2 of those. And then just to round out the traps, I'm running 3 of Red Rain. Still a pretty good trap card that comes down to Red Dragon Archfiend. Then I've got Red Zone. This is the other of the new traps. So when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control Red Dragon Archfiend or Synchro Monster that mentions it, you can target 1 card on the field to destroy it. You can target 1 of your banished Dark Dragon Synchro Monsters, special summon it. And then just to finish up, I'm running 3 copies of Time to Stand Up. So those are the spells and traps, and now we get to the extra deck. So first up, I'm running 3 copies of the new Red Dragon Archfiend, technically. So this is Scarred Dragon Archfiend. So with this one, this card becomes Red Dragon Archfiend. The card's name becomes Red Dragon Archfiend while in the field or in the graveyard. So obviously it helps out with those new spells. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can special summon one Red Dragon Archfiend from your extra deck. This is treated as a synchro summon. Then if this card was sent to the graveyard as synchro material for a Dark Dragon synchro monster, you can destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. So yeah, if you end up using this for like the higher levels, then it pretty much becomes a bomb to your opponent's side of the field for attack position monsters. And obviously, because I'm running 3 of these, I'm also running 3 Red Dragon Archfiend, just so I've got more targets. Then I'm running 3 copies of Red Rising Dragon. So this is the one I was on about going to the combos. So yeah, so with Red Rising Dragon, its ability is when this is synchro summon, you can target one Resonator monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So most of the time I'd go for Crimson Resonator. So Crimson Resonator's effect would activate, meaning I could get 2 more Resonators on the field. So I could go for higher boss monsters. I could also use, where's the other one? Yeah, I could also use Red Familiar, just in case for some reason I don't have Crimson Resonator in the graveyard, to increase that level to 8. So that would be another way to go for higher level monsters. So yeah, pretty handy that card. So now for more of the boss monsters, I'm going to say. So first up, well, okay, this isn't necessarily a boss monster, but I just like running it. It's a Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. Now we get to the boss monsters. So first off, we have 1 copy of Abyss and 1 copy of Bane. I do find most of the time I end up going for Abyss more than Bane, mainly because with Abyss you can target one face-up card your opponent controls and negates its effect until the end of the turn. While with Bane, you can tribute 1 monster, then target 1 Red Dragon Archfiend monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So that's a way to get more synchros out, but that's a way to negate your opponent's effects. And then to round things up, I'm running 1 copy of Hot Red Dragon King Calamity, 1 copy of Red Nova Dragon, and 1 copy of Red Supernova Dragon. So that is my deck profile for the Red Dragon Archfiend / Resonators. This is a pretty fun deck to use. I built Resonators quite a long time ago, actually, before this structure deck came out. But with the new support that came out in this structure deck, it's a pretty fun deck to use, I think. So yeah. So that has been my deck profile of Resonator / Red Dragon Archfiend. If you want to know when my newest deck profiles will be coming out, because I'm going to try and aim for 1 a month. Can't guarantee that, but I will try to aim for 1 a month. Then please make sure to subscribe to the channel to know when my newest videos will be coming out. And also, if you've enjoyed today's video, then please make sure to like this video as well. I hope you've enjoyed, and for now, this is SliferKing, signing out.